I mean, dude, I literally remember taking a Xanax for a public speaking class because I was so anxious and so scared of getting in front of people. And now I give two fucks. You know, I'm out speaking on stages, on podcasts. It's just a natural thing for me to speak in front of people. I learned to love myself. I learned to become a better person, and just changed everything. What's going on, family? It's your boy, Danny Klein. Welcome to the Undeniable Podcast. This is going to be a one-on-one episode. I wanted to come to you guys and talk about my story, talk about what this podcast is for, you know, get you guys to really just know who I am, know what's up. I'm not going to give you guys a bunch of motivational fucking tips and a bunch of bullshit. Just want to talk to you guys for a second so you can know my story, my life, who I am, what I do. Maybe you've seen a little bit on the internet and just trying to figure out, like, who is this dude, you know what I'm saying? So first and foremost, man, I'm 25 years old. I've been with Andy Elliott for the last 4 years at this point in time. It's 2024, March, and we're kicking ass, taking names, man, making it happen. I've been on this journey of self-development for the last 5 years. I came from nothing. Let's rewind my entire life, for my upbringing, my childhood, just a little bit of everything, just so you can understand who is Danny Klein. Outside of, like, the sales, the closing, who I am today, like, where did I come from? A lot of people I'll talk to, I like who they are today. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what kind of story do you come from? Are you an underdog? Did you have crazy shit happen? That's what gets people to connect with. Going all the way back, when I had divorced parents growing up, I was the youngest of three, older brother, older sister, you know, nice middle-class family. And then the divorce happened between my mother and my father. 6 or 7 years of legit, like, just court battles, them going back and forth for custody. You know, I remember still to this day having to write mom on the inside of the shirts that I would keep at mom's house because those were mom's clothes. And then I would write on the inside of my other clothes, dad's clothes. These were dad's clothes. And then it was completely separate. And that's how bad it was. There was no real, like, tight family dinners, all that shit. It was like one of those deals where I legitimately had to go and, like, separate myself. I had to really think about, who do I want to be with? What parent do I want to stay close with? And I just remember, like, telling them that I want to be split right down the middle, 50-50, and they had no fucking choice. 14 years old. I was tired of the bullshit. I was tired of the court battles. I was like, oh, stay with your mom, stay with your dad. You know, he treats you better. This, I was like, man, I was level-headed enough as a 14-year-old just to understand that, like, regardless of how well-off dad is and how well-off mom is or how this goes, how that goes, I believe that every parent deserves to be with their kid. I had the favorite, right? The one that could give me the most leniency, let me fuck off the most, right? But in reality, I knew that I was going to regret not being around both of my parents growing up. And so I remember I told them, and it ended all the court battles because when I would get off the bus and mom's house was on the schedule, I would find a way and I would I'd get picked up by one of my friends, or I'd ride my bike or I'd ride my skateboard right down the other neighborhood, 10 minutes away, to my father's house. And it was just kind of like a big, like fuck you to how I wanted to live my life. And I love both of them. And I don't think either of them were really upset. I think they understood that their child was to a point where it was like, this is over. It's me versus you. And now it's him just declaring on how this is going to go. And, you know, we can punish him. We can do whatever. But honestly, bro, like, a pissed off 14-year-old and you're divorced, you're trying to pay bills, that's the last thing you want to fucking deal with. And I was willing to go through hell to let them know, like, how it was going to go. So honestly, it was quick transition, and it was kind of like accepted, hey, we're going to give split custody. This is how it is. No more bullshit. And that's when the divorce stuff kind of settled. And, you know, that's how that went. And let's get into some of, like, the sales things, you know. So I go through all this, and I'm in sales now. Obviously, I'm a sales coach with the Elliott Group. But I remember my first story of sales. My parents are divorced at this time. Remember, I'm growing up. I'm fucking, you know, a kid running around, smoking weed. You know, literally fifth grade, I was literally smoking weed in fifth grade. Like, just crazy story. I was around the wrong people. I was just always getting into stupid shit as a kid. And I always had to find a way to, you know, get money. I had to find a way to hustle because mom didn't have money, dad didn't have money. But there was a time where I asked my mom for a skateboard. And I said, hey, mom, like, you know, can I get a skateboard? And she's like, we don't have money for that. You know, can grab the lawnmower and, you know, knock doors. And I remember going all the way up the street, knocking all the doors. I mowed, like, you know, 4 or 5 lawns that same day, came back with $100-something, got a skateboard. And that was, like, my first start into sales. We did that. Me and my best friend, Freddie, we did that the entire summer, knocking doors, mowing lawns for $20, $40. Then I remember I got this little school supplies kit, erasers, pencil grips, all that shit. And I would resell it. I remember looking at the school store. I looked at their prices. I looked at what they had. I charged cheaper prices and had better products. I have no idea where this mindset came from at such a young age, because you would think selling some pencil, that's cute. There was a tactical thought behind how I was going to take this school store out and make more money and capture this market. I mean, I literally was like, I'm going to put the school store out of business. And what the school store was, it was a little stand. And it was in middle school. I had this little stand where I would literally go and I'd have the pencil grips. I'd have all this stuff, and I just figured they were cooler. So I had better products, and I was going to sell them at a discounted rate. I was going to sell them cheaper. I had lines out of this trailer. We had a trailer growing up in 5th grade because our school didn't have enough room. And so people would line up during this little 30-minute break that we had during the day. I'd have quarters lined up across my entire desk. I would have $20, $30, when I was a little kid. High school comes. I get into high school. I was wrestling for probably 9-10 years of my life, all the way from 5th grade through middle school, through high school, almost even wrestled for college for a little bit. But I go through high school, was always like a party kid, was friends with everybody. Just kind of like one of the fucking cool kids, right? Got by decent grades, didn't piss off a lot of people. And I remember I was trying to figure out what route I wanted to go to my life when I was going to graduate high school. And it's like, I don't want to go to college and, join the military. You got all these options that come your way. And I just remember going into college, and I was just like, dude, this is not it. And so I dropped out of college, just started kind of figuring out my life, man. I mean, dude, I literally remember taking a Xanax for a public speaking class because I was so anxious and so scared of getting in front of people. And now I give two fucks. I'm out speaking on stages, on my podcast. It's just a natural thing for me to speak in front of people. I learned to love myself. I learned to become a better person. And just changed everything. And so I dropped out of high school, got into college, dropped out of college. It just shifted everything for me, because I realized that I had to get into the real world. I had to fucking figure out what was I going to do with my life. And one of my buddies comes up to me that I used to wrestle with back in high school. He comes up to me, hey, how you been? What's been up, dude? Do. He's like, oh, man, yeah, I've been doing good, man. I made $15K last month. And I was like, you made $15,000 last month? I made like $3,000 last month working every single fucking day delivering Chinese food. At that moment, I said, dude, it was like Wolf of Wall Street. I said, you show me a check for $15,000. I'll quit my job right now, and I'm fucking coming working for whoever you work for. Turned out his dad was a GM. Thank you for the job, Jeff. Changed my entire fucking life. Got into sales. I thought I was going to crush it. I thought I was going to make that $15,000 paycheck and change my life. That's exactly what did not happen. I got in. I got absolutely crushed. COVID hit. I thought I was going to lose my job. I got a $200 commission check about 3-4 months in, trying to figure out the game. I find this guy, Andy Elliott. I wasn't really sure. I saw his stuff. I watched 3 videos, helped me close a deal. He called me, and it wasn't like he was trying to close me on a thing, or it was like he connected with me. He was like, I want to help you change your life. I want to take you to the top. I want to make you the best in your state. And I just remember saying, you know what, dude? Fuck it, man. I'm in. I went to his first seminar. That very next month, I sold 20 cars. Then sold 25, and I just consistently was, selling 20, 25 cars a month, making really good money and, making 6-figure income, and I was still living in my parents' house. And it was just, that was that moment where I realized sales was going to be my way out. About 9 months goes by, training with Andy Elliott. I'm consistently making, $15,000 a month, crushing it, $20,000 a month. And then my dad passes away. The last person to see my family, he drowns in a pool. Last thing, crazy accident, passes out, didn't take care of his health very well. And just in that moment, he was gone. I mean, there was no goodbye. There was no phone call. There was no, oh, you're sick, Dad. It was, your dad just passed away. It was 20. I just turned 21 a few weeks ago, right after this. I remember I told Andy, I sent him a text of me in the gym the very next morning, 12 hours after I heard the news. And I was in the gym, fucking crying, working out. I just knew that I had to do some hard shit. I had to get the fuck up. I don't know. Most people would have hung out, but I'm like, I got to get out of this fucking house. I cannot go back down a rabbit hole no matter what. I fought so hard to create momentum in my life. And I knew the one thing that my father would not want me to sit down and fucking moan and bitch and cry. I was going to have to deal with a very dark place, and I was willing to accept that. But I was not going to give up all these other areas of my life as I go through that process. It wasn't going to fucking happen. A couple of days later, he texted me and said, hey, man, I want you to come out here, come work with me, come help me start this company. We're moving out to Phoenix. I'm hiring you and a couple guys. And I just said, fuck it, man. I had no idea what I was going to be getting paid. Word for word, Andy said, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be selling shit. We're going to be getting tan, and we're going to be getting jacked. Word for word, getting tan, getting jacked, making money, changing lives. And I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm in. No idea. I had sold. I'd made money quick. I was coachable. And so now I'm stepping into this role to be mentored, to sell, and to also become a coach and mentor of others. And I was just like, I had to have this identity shift so fast. Now I've been with this guy for almost 4 years. I was 21. I'm 25 now, and starting to build the brand, starting to crush it, starting to start the podcast just to share some of the knowledge with you guys. And I just wanted to really talk about what is this podcast for. So the podcast is called The Undeniable Podcast. And the reason I put this together is I've been in rooms with some of the most powerful, most influential, richest people on the planet, and they've been crushing it. Guys that are multi, 8-figure, 9-figure earners that just smash. I mean, I'm talking like some of the legends in the game. You would know all of them. Some of the legends. I've been in rooms with them, multiple conversations. I've been around Andy, who has also been around all these people and is establishing relationships, making friendships with these guys. And it's just been amazing to be in this platform. And I wanted to share the knowledge that I've learned from all of these guys. Because guess what, man? I'm young. I'm building right now. I mean, I'm 25. I've made a lot of money. You know, I've crushed it. I'm building right now. I coach and mentor others. But I'm not a fucking multi-millionaire yet. I don't own the company. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to wait until I own the company, until I am a multi-millionaire. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to start documenting the journey now. I'm going to start getting these people I'm in proximity with now on these podcasts in front of you guys, delivering the fucking fire, the value. These conversations that I have, I'm going to put you guys in front of these people so you can meet them, hear their story, pick their brain, hear their knowledge, and just get real life shit. I'm one of those people, I don't want to sit here and listen to rap music anymore. I just want to listen to fucking knowledge. I want to hear people that are going to spit out undeniable shit to me that I know if I take it and put it into my own life, that I can change my life too. And so we've had a couple episodes drop, and I stopped and I said, hey, you know what? Let me do an intro video. Let me do an intro podcast so I can set the tone of what this is going to look like. Because I promise you, people are going to come back and watch this episode a few years later, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later. Because I'm not going to fucking stop. There's going to be 500 episodes back. And you're like, who was this fucking dude? 5 years ago, 10 years, what is this? Let me go back. And so I'm documenting the entire journey along the way of all of these people. The guests are going to get bigger. The influence is going to get crazier. The brand's going to grow. I am not going to stop. And so if you support me, I'll support you. And just grateful to be in this position in my life to be able to share my knowledge with you guys and have other people. Because guess what? Forever, throughout every single day in my life, until the day I fucking die, I will be a student of the game. I don't care how much money I make. I don't care how many fucking followers I have. I don't fucking care. I will keep learning every single thing I can to chase this best version of myself and become undeniable in every single area of life. My fitness, my knowledge, my finances, my relationships, my brand, everything. And I want to give it all to you guys so you guys can learn, hey, what is this guy doing to grow? What is, the Elliott group, Andy Elliott, what's going on? You guys know Andy Elliott, most likely. And so I'm a student of this guy. And if you've watched anybody that's came up, Tony Robbins was a mentor of Jim Rohn, or he learned from Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn learned from other people. And there's this chain of self-development that's gone through history. And whether I fucking make it or I don't, I'm going to fucking keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. And whatever qualifies is up to you. You get to define your own success. And so a lot of people have already told me I've already made it. And I would challenge that. I say I'm already getting started. And so I want to become a legend in the game. So I'm calling my shot now. And welcome to the Undeniable Podcast. Want to tell a little bit about my story, set the tone for what the Undeniable Podcast is. We'll be dropping videos and podcasts every single week from yours truly, Danny Klein. If you guys want to connect in with me, follow me in my socials at official Danny Klein on Instagram, Danny Klein on Facebook, and official Danny Klein on YouTube. Podcast dropping on all platforms, Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, literally every platform you can think of. We are on there. We are pushing. So go check out some of the other episodes that we just dropped. I got a couple cool ones really lined up for you guys. We had already some kick-ass guests, some CEOs of some companies, some multi-millionaires that I've already been on. So I'm not bringing on just strangers off the street and my friends and my buddies. I'm bringing on the real fucking deal, the undeniable guests. If you do not have undeniable results in some area of your life, you will not be on a fucking episode. But if you do, and if you're wanting to see guys that have done real undeniable shit, stay tuned, stay plugged in. We love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys along for the journey.